video, we're going to talk about how to multiply radicals, okay? So in order for us to do this, we want to just look at what we have. We have some radicals being multiplied together. So look at number one, we're going to use the distributive property, okay? So we're going to distribute -7, or square root of 7 times the square root of 3, and square root of 7 times the square root of 48. Now that is one way to start. Or if you think it's going to be easier to look inside at your binomial and simplify one of the radicals you already have, then distribute, that will work as well. So let's do that for this one. Because what we see is we have the square root of 7 times square root of 3 plus. But I know that I could simplify the square root of 48 to maybe help me simplify this a little bit easier. And this would be the square root of 16 times 3, right? Square root of 16 is a perfect square. So now we can write this as the square root of 7 times the square root of 3 plus 4 root 3, right? We pulled that 16 out because the square root of 16 is 4. Now we can distribute. So this would be the square root of 21 and plus 4 times the square root of 21. And now we can add these because we have the same index, we're doing the square root, and we have the same radical. So this is like 1 root 21 plus 4, so our final answer would be 5 times the square root of 21. All right, look at number 2. We have 4 root 2 minus the square root of 98 squared. So this is the square of a binomial. So remember, we can write it out as 2 binomials, and we can FOIL, right? So 4 root 2 minus root 98, and let's FOIL. So first we're going to do 4 root 2 times 4 root 2, so 4 times 4 is 16, and root 2 times root 2 would be root 4. Now that's going to simplify. Let's just leave it there for just a moment. And we're going to multiply this way. So we're going to say minus 4 root 196, because 2 times 98 would be 96. And now we're going to do the inside terms. So also 4 times root 196. And then lastly, plus the square root of 98 squared. Now we have a lot of simplifying we can do. So the square root of 4 is 2, so this is 16 times 2, so that's 32. Minus, and these two terms can become 8 times the square root of 196. And this will just become 98 because the square root and squaring are inverses. Now you also notice the square root of 196 is a perfect square. This is 14. So now we can do 32 minus, and 8 times 14 would be 112. And this should be plus 98. So now we go through 32 minus 112, and then we add 98, and this is going to actually give us an answer of 18. Okay, so our radicals totally went away. All right, let's take a look at some cube root examples. Okay, so here let's just go ahead and distribute. So this would be the cube root of 12 plus the cube root of 32 times 3, so 96. And now let's break this down, the cube root of 12 plus, and 96 we can do 8 times 12, because the cube root of 8 we could pull out as a perfect cube. So now we have the cube root of 12 plus 2 times the cube root of 12. And now we can add these together. This would be like 1 plus 2. So this would be 3 times the cube root of 12 as our final answer. And lastly, number 4. Let's distribute the cube root of 2 here. So this would be the cube root of 270 minus 4 times the cube root of 10. And now we can break down cube root of 270 because that's 27 times 10. So let's do the cube root of 27 times 10 minus 4 times the cube root of 10. Now the cube root of 27, we can pull that out of the radical as a 3. So 3 times the cube root of 10 minus 4 times the cube root of 10. And now we have the same index, we're doing cube root, and we have the same radical, the radicand is 10. So now we can do 3 minus 4, which is -1, or we can just say negative cube root of 10. And that's how you multiply radicals.